Hello, my name is Gary, and I was raised in the Western United States, so I'm a native English speaker. I hope that you will enjoy this YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us.
The Old Oak's Last Dream. In a forest near the sea, on a high steep cliff, there once stood a majestic old oak tree. It was 365 years old. To the tree, those centuries passed the way a single year feels to us, filled with days and nights, activity and dreams. But unlike us, the old oak stayed awake most of the year, only truly resting during winter. That was its night, a time of peace after the long day of spring, summer and fall. Every summer, tiny one-day flies called ephemera would dance and buzz around the tree. Their lives lasted only a day, but they were full of joy. Sometimes one would land on a fresh green leaf, and the tree would sigh, "You poor little thing, you only get one day to live. That must feel so sad." But the little fly would always answer, "Sad? Not at all. Everything around me is beautiful and warm. I'm happy." "But your joy lasts just a day, and then it's over," the tree replied. "Over?" said the fly. "What does that even mean? Will you be over too?" "No," said the tree. "I'll likely live thousands of your days. My days stretch through entire seasons." "Well," replied the fly, "I may only have a single day, but I live it fully. I pack so many happy moments into it. Maybe we both just measure time differently." And off the little fly would go, spinning and dancing through the fragrant air, overwhelmed with the scents of clover, wild roses, honeysuckle and mint. At the end of its joyful day, the tired fly gently drifted down to rest on the grass, its tiny body stilled, and it passed away peacefully. "Poor little ephemera," the old oak would whisper each time. "Such a short life." And yet every summer day brought more flies, full of the same happiness and energy. As winter approached, the oak began to wind down too. The wind sang lullabies through the branches, and leaves fell one by one. "Sleep now," the wind whispered. "We'll rock you gently. Let the snow blanket your roots. Rest, old tree, your long year is done." And so the oak stood bare, ready for winter's slumber. It had once been the tiny acorn, but now it was the tallest and strongest tree in the forest. So tall that sailors used it as a landmark from far out at sea. Birds nested in its branches, and in fall, flocks of migrating birds paused there before crossing the ocean. One winter night close to Christmas, the oak had a dream. It dreamed it was summer again. Its branches were lush with leaves, the sun danced between them, and the air was rich with the scent of flowers. Butterflies fluttered, and flies once again spun around its crown. It saw memories from its long life like scenes in a parade, knights and ladies riding through the forest, lovers carving initials in its bark, travellers hanging musical instruments in its branches. The oak dreamed it was growing taller and stronger, rising so high that its top pierced the clouds. The stars became visible in daylight, and every leaf seemed to hold an eye, able to see the world's beauty. But as happy as the tree felt, it longed for the others, trees, flowers, grasses, to rise with it and see what it saw. And then it happened. The other plants began to grow too, stretching, climbing, flying upward to join the oak. Birds rose singing, flowers lifted their blooms, and every living thing seemed filled with joy. The oak felt complete. "Where's the blue flower by the water?" the oak called. "Where's the bellflower, the daisy, the thyme, and the lily of the valley?" "We're here," came the cheerful replies. "This is too beautiful to be real," said the oak. "Is it possible for so much joy to exist?" "It is," came the answer. "With God in heaven, all of this is possible." And the oak felt its roots let go of the earth. "This is right," it thought. "No more chains holding me. I can rise, and everyone I love is with me." Just then, in the real world, a great storm rolled in from the sea. Waves crashed and the wind howled. There was a loud crack, and the tree's roots finally tore free. The mighty oak fell, just as it had dreamed. When Christmas morning came, the storm was over. Church bells rang across the land, the chimney smoke rose into the sky like offerings, the sea calmed. On a ship that had survived the night storm, sailors raised the flags to celebrate. "The oak is down," one cried. "Our landmark is gone. Who can replace it?" Their simple words were like a farewell to an old friend. The oak now lay on the snowy ground, and from the ship a Christmas song rang out about joy, rebirth, and eternal life. The same eternal life the oak had dreamed of. And just like that, the old oak's life ended not in sorrow, but in celebration, rising in its final dream towards light, peace, and everlasting joy. Life comes in many lengths, from the brief flutter of a fly's single day to the centuries lived by an old oak tree. But no matter how short or long, every life holds its own kind of beauty and meaning. Joy is not found in the number of days we have, but in how we fill them with wonder, connection, purpose, and peace. We each measure time in our own way, and what matters most is living fully, appreciating the present, and understanding that every ending carries the seed of a new beginning.
The Fox and the Tiger. One day, a fox came across a tiger. The tiger bared his teeth, stretched out his claws, and was about to eat the fox. But the fox quickly said, "My friend, don't think you're the only king of beasts. Your courage is nothing compared to mine. Let's walk together, with you behind me. If people see me and aren't afraid, then you can eat me." The tiger agreed, and the fox led the way down a wide road. When the strangers saw the tiger in the distance, they were terrified and ran away. Then the fox said, "See, I was walking in front, and the people ran before they even noticed you." The tiger, convinced, tucked his tail and ran off himself. What the tiger failed to realize was that the people were afraid not of the fox, but of the tiger behind him. The fox had merely used the fear that was meant for the tiger. The Ant and the Fly. One day, an ant and a fly got into an argument about who was more important. The fly said proudly, "You're just a boring little bug. Look at me, I fly high in the sky like a bird. I visit kings in their palaces and even land on their heads. I go to temples and taste the best food at every feast and ceremony." The ant replied, "That might sound impressive, but think about it. Sure, you land on fancy food, but you also land on garbage and filth, which I wouldn't even go near. When you sit on kings' heads, they shoo you away like they would a pest. People find you annoying, even at the temples you brag about. And while you spend your time flying around, I work hard and store food for winter. When the cold comes, I'll be safe and full, while you and your friends will be hungry, or worse." Then the ant added, "I have work to do. Talking won't fill my pantry." And with that, she went back to work while the fly flew off. Moral: true worth comes from hard work and usefulness, not from showing off.